In this video we want to look at the packing tool in para3D for laser cutting and CNC milling. And we have this 3D model of a student of mine, Marianne Stadt, and we just bring this into para3D. We just go into para3D and say assign controller, and all the informations I don't need, and now we are in para3D. And the first thing I obviously want to disassemble this. Just go into disassemble and go into para and connect the para with the para node of my box, and we just want to do it really easy. I just go, and I don't want to have a thickness. I go into disassemble now, and we already disassembled my model, but they are so far not packed properly for CNC milling and laser cutting. So what I have to do is I just have to choose my transform property of my disassemble tool. I just open my controller library. I go into packing, packing controller, and what I choose is actually my rectangle packing. So there are two different kind of options. I can go into my top view and I can just draw a rectangle, and this rectangle has a width of 80 centimeters by 45 centimeters. This is these are the measurements of the size of our laser printer. And what I can do then, I can just go into pick packing area. I can just choose this one, and I go into disassemble now. And here we go. We can already see that it is nicely packed, and you can choose different kind of packing systems and just see what actually works better. And you can see the different kind of packings. You can also define the gap between this packing. It's a very small gap right now. I go into a gap of 1 centimeter. I go into update now, and you can see that there's a gap of 1 centimeters between these planes. And there's also something really nice. For example, if you if this area is smaller, you can just go into this dynamic update, and I update it again, and I just reduce the size of my laser surface, and you can just see what's happening. If you make it smaller, then you can see that it already assembles it on a second area, and the gap between this one is 100 centimeters. If I just reduce it, for example, to 10 centimeters, and I go into update, you can see that that it just opens a new sheet for my laser cutting. So it just defines new areas, which is actually really nice. If you don't choose a plane for packing, you can just remove it right now. Then you can just use these kind of settings. You can define it with these values, and you can just say I have a plane of 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters, and I go into update, and then you can see it's it doesn't depend on this value anymore, and you always have 30 by 20 centimeters. And if I just extend this right now, you can just see that it reorganizes the whole thing, and you can choose different kind of packing algorithms, really advanced ones like this Revalo packing, or these simple packing, and this just is related to the optimized space between these kind of objects. But how can we do this if we want to differentiate our packing? For example, if you want to use different kind of thicknesses for the laser cutter, or different kind of materials, what we can see is that our 3D object already uses two different kind of materials. If I go into my material editor, we have this conventional compact material editor right now. I just go into pick material from object, and here we can see that I have a multi-sub material, and we have different kind of IDs. The gray one has the ID number of 1, and the second one has the ID number of 2. Okay, let's start from scratch now with two different kind of materials. I go into para3D. I have selected my object, obviously. I go into para3D and I go into assign controller. And information of edit mesh I don't need actually. And I again apply my disassemble. I go into all and I just connect the exit with the entrance of my object. Material thickness I don't want. I go into disassemble and already disassembled my my surfaces, which I can see right now. And what we want to do right now is I want to attach again and transform my packing controller, but we have to differentiate between material ID 1 and material ID 2. What we can do is we can use the mesh controller. Just go into mesh controller, because the mesh controller can look at the different kind of faces and can see what kind of material ID we're talking about. So I just go into the level of face. I go into each item custom, because we only want to choose look at the first object. And if I go into Scala, because the ID number is just a number, I can just choose in this output my material ID. And what we have to do is we have to connect the mesh controller with a different kind of items in from our disassemble. And this we can only do via the reference object. We can't just pick it, because then we would only pick one of the planes of these many, probably more than 30 planes. So we have to use something like a parametric array link. I just open again my para3D and just say parametric array link, what we did right now. And here we just go into para and just connect it to our disassemble node. Again, if you just connect it immediately, then we just connected it with one of the items, and we want to connect it with the whole disassemble selection. So what we want to do next, we want to filter material ID 1 for material ID 2. And for this, there is this new para array filter tool, which I use right now. And I just open it, and the first thing is we connect my para node, and we are talking actually about our disassemble surfaces. And now we just want to filter ID with filter ID 1 with filter ID 2, and I just use something like a test value controller. So the first thing we want to define is value A, and value A is actually the number of my material ID of my mesh controller. So I just connect value A to my mesh controller, and value B is for example now material ID 1. Okay, and then I go into the comparison. A is the same than B, aim equally to B. And this just means if I filter it, and if A is the same like B, I get a message. And what I still now have to do is I just have to apply the filter. I just deselect my filter, and I just go into apply filter, and then you can just see that I already have all my transforms and all the other things of my object and my filter tool. Okay. Now in filter, I just apply again my packing controller, which I did right now here, and then I go into rectangle packing, and just create a new rectangle just next to this, like this one. Again, a width of 80 centimeters by 45 centimeters. I just go into pick packing, and if I now go into update controllers, then we just see that we can only see, just go into my the shading wheel, that only the materials from material ID 1 went into my first surface. Okay, let's do it for the second material. What I don't like, it already looks a little bit chaotic. I just select all my nodes and controllers and I go into arrange so it looks a little bit better organized. What I can do, I can just select my my filter controller, right mouse click, I go into copy and then paste it again. And what we see is that it's already connected, pasted it with all my connections. I just deselect my filter controller, I just deselect my transform controller. I choose again my test relay controller and my packing controller, and I say right mouse click, copy, and just move a little bit to my filter controller, and here again I go into paste. And then I just connect my test value controller into my filter again, and I change the setting in my test value controller to material ID number 1 because it's still connected to my mesh controller up here, which is connected to my disassemble tool via my parametric link controller. And then I just connect my packing controller to my transform, and in my packing controller I just have to choose another packing surface. I just choose this surface and right mouse click, I just copy this one to the right side, and then I just go into select packing area and I just choose this new rectangle, so it's rectangle 002. And before I update my packing, I just have to say apply filter, otherwise it doesn't work. So there's a new filter which is connected to material ID number 2. I go into apply filter, and then I go into my packing packing controller. I go into update, and hopefully what we see is we can see that my packing works. I just packed in with 2 different kind of materials. I can still change my way of packing. I just go into more complex packing and can optimize my packing. I optimize also my packing with my other ID number. This is ID number 1, this is the ID number 2. I just optimize it, and we can just see how to organize my packing with different kind of material numbers. And it just doesn't matter if you have 1 ID, 2 ID, 3 ID. I just have to do this copy paste. I just have to reorganize it, that I use my test value controller, change the ID number here, and just use a new packing surface to do the packing properly with different kind of ID numbers for laser cutting and CNC milling. Thanks for watching.